for your questions and your comments as well. The purpose of today's forum is not to have a debate about the decision that the Chancellor has made regarding Chick-fil-A in our campus per se, but to have a larger conversation about the kinds of factors a public university should consider when making purchasing and contracting decisions. And another purpose of this forum is to clear up some misunderstandings. There's a lot of misinformation in campus media, but also local media and national media. Even CNN jumped on the bandwagon saying that we banned Chick-fil-A from our campus, which is not the case. And so I've asked Ken Baeirl to be here today to talk with us a little bit about what actually happened and the timeline. We also have with us Vice Chancellor Bill O'Donnell, who will talk with us about how decisions regarding purchasing, contracting, and vending are made on our campus. Professor Stephen Grenzer will talk with us a little bit about larger issues of corporations and corporate citizenship and some of the broader topics we might want to consider as we think about this as a teachable moment where we can all engage in a dialogue and learn from one another. And then Professor J.R. Schrader and student Jason Moreno are going to share their perspective, quite different perspectives regarding the actual decision in terms of Chick-fil-A and just to start the conversation. And what we hope, of course, is for respectful and civil dialogue. I imagine we will all learn a lot through our conversations and discussions here today. You see the ground rules of engagement in your program. We ask that if you want to speak, just raise your hand. One of the Political Science Club student leaders will come with a microphone just so that everybody can hear your question. And that way we'll give everybody a chance, and we want to hear as many perspectives and get as many questions answered as we can here today. And so I don't want to take any more of your time. I'm just going to go ahead and turn it over to Ken.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate this opportunity to discuss this issue, but more importantly, from my perspective, to help clarify some of the information that's been out there. I have spent a lot of time in the last two or three weeks, and at every opportunity, I'm trying to make sure anyone who asks understands the facts of this issue, because there's been a lot of misinformation, a lot of confusion, a lot of miscommunication, and there's enough blame to go around for that. Some of that is the university's fault, and some of it's the media's fault, and some of it is just a lot of rhetoric and talk in the media. So this is a great opportunity to be able to clarify, I hope, any of the misconceptions that are out there. I just want to take my 5 minutes at the start to look at the chronology of this, because I think that that helps put it in perspective as well. Before I do that, I want to make sure if there's only one thing that you take away from this session this evening, I hope everybody understands that Chick-fil-A was never banned from this campus. Chick-fil-A was never kicked off this campus. That continues to be what is stated publicly a lot. And even today, I had more calls asking about that. And I'm happy to respond to those, but it just goes to show, especially those of us who have been involved in this day to day, there's still misinformation out there. And that's really the headline that has gone around so much, which has really helped fuel this issue. So let me briefly go through the chronology. This started, as many of these kinds of situations do, as a very small thing. Prior to the start of classes in the second semester, there was a discussion with our dining services area from some faculty members about the relationship with Chick-fil-A. And at that point, it was a matter of trying to understand that issue, and so our dining services people did the right thing and said, you know, we'll take that under consideration and take it to the level that something like that needs to be addressed. Then the next step was also very appropriate. Faculty members who are members of the executive committee of the Academic Senate properly asked that that issue be put on the agenda for that committee's regular meeting with the chancellor. And the idea there was that the issue would be discussed further. That meeting then took place, and properly, and the executive committee brought the chancellor's attention to this issue at that meeting, and the chancellor understood that it was an issue that was being discussed and would be looked into, and that was very appropriate. At that point, dining services informed the local Chick-fil-A affiliate that we were going to temporarily suspend service at the start of the semester, so this issue could be looked at, and also just kind of when you're in the business of dining services, they wanted to also look at the menu that was going to be provided to the campus over the course of the semester. After that, the word about the suspension began to circulate around campus. A couple of weeks had gone by because I would imagine most people on campus know Chick-fil-A delivers sandwiches here once a week to the main dining areas. They also cater any events or meetings that students, faculty, or staff wanted to have. That's the relationship with Chick-fil-A. And it's been that way for years, and it's been a good relationship. But at this point, they were informed that for the time being, we were going to stop that service on Wednesdays to the two main dining areas so that this issue could be looked at. Then a story appeared in the preface that outlined this, and the gist of that story was that Chick-fil-A had been removed from campus. I won't go into a lot of the details here, just for I think everybody's probably pretty well schooled on this, but when I talk about the issue, it's Chick-fil-A's position on supporting an event that was happening in Pennsylvania, but assuming you all know about that. So the preface story ran, and then a story ran on the local CBS affiliate that night, where I think now we're talking 2 weeks ago, about Chick-fil-A being removed from campus. At that point, this story blew up. I believe the preface story ran on a Wednesday, and the TV story ran that Wednesday night. Thursday morning, I was called into the chancellor's office, and this was the first I had heard about it. And at this point, there was an outcry that was happening in the media, happening on the internet, and happening in discussions on campus. At that point, we began information gathering, and it became very clear very soon. There was a lot of misinformation and a lot of assumptions, and that this had now begun to get out of control in the public arena. So we spent a lot of time on Thursday getting information, and on Thursday I issued a clarification to the campus. I hope you all read that. I know that just because you put something out there doesn't mean everybody reads it, but we put out a clarification to the campus. I won't go into that now, but essentially it said there's a lot of miscommunication and here's what's happening, and it outlined that there was a suspension in place just in the two main dining areas, that Chick-fil-A remained an approved IU vendor on campus, and that if anyone wanted to use Chick-fil-A for a meeting they were hosting or an event, any catering at all, that was perfectly welcome, and that Chick-fil-A was welcome on this campus. However, their delivery once a week to the two main dining areas was going to be suspended so a review could be done of what faculty members had raised, and to give it a thorough review so that issue was given its due diligence. That was the reason for the suspension and the review. So that clarification was issued. Didn't seem to help much, but in this case, you know, from a public relations and a communications perspective, all you can do is clarify the issue at every opportunity, and so that's what we began doing. So we issued the clarification, and the review began of this issue, and on February 1st, Chick-fil-A was reinstated on a decision made by Chancellor Brack. And we made that announcement to the campus. That, again, wasn't widely reported, and I've spent a lot of time, even now, when people ask about it, to say, well, actually, they've been reinstated now. So there's just a time delay in everybody getting the information as quickly as you can. I'll stop there because I know there are other people who want to talk, but I will say this. As a campus and as the administration and representing the chancellor, she made it very clear that she wanted this review done because it was the right thing to do. It had been brought to her attention properly, and that could not be ignored. And she wanted to make sure that the proper time was taken to do that. She also wanted me to help gather information for her, and she also wanted us to respond to every phone call and email that came in on that, and we have done that. There have been more than 100 emails that I have personally responded to, and dozens of phone calls where I have talked to people. All sides of the issue have been made very clear to the chancellor and to me in these discussions. People are not afraid to share their opinions. Some were nicer than others. But we listened and responded to every single one of them, and we continue to do that today. Even today, I've kept responding to them, and I think this forum, I hope will go a long way in helping clarify the issues. And when you all talk about this, you know what the facts are, and you can correct any misconceptions and help discuss this knowing the facts. So I'll stop there.